Continuing, excuse me, continuing from a lab that I had, was building on the other day. Rahu is white, Ketu is black. Once again, oh, let me get situated right. I'm over this motherfucker sitting in the most awkward position or whatever. Shit fucking up my breathing. All right, so yeah, continuing from the lab the other day. You know what I'm saying? I was doing the lab on Rahu and Ketu. Rahu representing the Caucasian race, if you want to call them that, and Ketu being the representative of the quote unquote African American race, or the black race, or the Ingers, right? Once again, I don't want to make this you know what I'm saying, like a racially antagonistic type of video. You feel me? I'm not promoting one side over the other. I'm not, the Hebrew guy on the corner who's beating the Bible and, saying all, the other types of people are bad, and you feel me? We was kings, and you know what I'm saying, the Abrahamic ways. Though I'm not doing that. You feel me? I'm not pointing the finger at anybody. Again, not really into the racial antagonistic, activities. Um, what else? Each and every man is a man unto himself, and you feel me, must prove and exemplify his character through his actions and through the integrity of his nature. It's not about, you feel me, skin color, or you feel me, whatever particular background that you happen to be from. You feel me? That's just an umbrella. You know what I'm saying? You have to stand for yourself at the end of the day, right? So none of the emotional racial shit, none of that. You know what I'm saying? I'm really just building on this topic for the sake of the information, the exploring the different archetypes and the wisdom, or whatever knowledge can be attained from doing such, right? So yeah, getting to it. Rahu is being the white individual, or representing the white race, and K2 is representing the blacks. Peace, Crystal. I appreciate you for showing up. Uh I'm just building on Rahu and K2. If y'all got any questions on astrology, you don't necessarily have to be on Rahu and K2. I could, answer them, and you feel me, get to them as well. But I'm just building on the Rahu and K2 situation for right now. So Rahu as the whites, K2 as the blacks. So I figured exactly where I left off at the last time that I was speaking. Shit, I'm trying to fucking remember. Um, the Samudra Manthan situation. So, when the gods and the demons came together to churn the ocean, the cosmic ocean, it were a number of different objects that were manifested out of those waters. So, it was gems, diamonds, mythical creatures, you know, a god, a goddess or a couple goddesses or something like that. You feel me? It was different creations that was manifested out of the gods and the demons working together. What was also manifested was an extremely malefic and horrendous poison and whatnot, right? Through that interaction, a poison that was so tough, no one in the universe could handle it except, Shiva himself. And the poison antagonized Shiva to a great deal, even at that, right? So, and why do I refer to this story? Like, when it comes to black people's experience or interaction with the European race, you know what I'm saying? When it comes to the identity switch or the destiny swap, or you feel me, white people pretty much coming to the center stage and pretty much labeling themselves as responsible for, the startup of civilization, the pretty much labeling themselves as, you feel me, the first intellectuals or the most advanced, the most technologically advanced, you feel me, the dominators of the world, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, and whatnot. These are acts that have greatly overshadowed, and other acts have also greatly antagonized the blacks, for lack of a better word, right? And you can say, what situations? You know what I'm saying? What? All people is equal. We all got equal opportunity or whatever. And it's like, okay, we can say that. You feel me? Peace. I don't even know how to pronounce your name. Peace to you though. Again, if y'all got any questions astrologically, or if you want to ask me while I'm talking about this topic, or you feel me? Good job. I appreciate it. You don't even know what I'm talking about. What I talking about? You don't even know what I'm talking about. Can't tell me nothing I'm talking about. It's crazy. But nah, and I'm completely fucked up my train of thought. All right, so what's something new that I can say? I don't love this is crazy. You can tell me nothing that I was talking about. And you know that. Like absolutely nothing. Like love this is crazy activity. But nah, all right. So Rahu and Ketu. Ketu being the black people, right? Black people are some of the most naturally talented people, if you want to call it, right? Music, athletics, singing, dancing, you feel me? Even when it comes to an intellectual or a technological aspect, you know what I'm saying? You got a lot of these kids that's in Africa that's, building water systems that can pull water from the air, or, building, vehicles that can run off of water, that's intensely engaged in robotics. Like, if people are able to, overlook the criminality that's portrayed, or you feel me, that the media seems to center on, and to try to cast upon the world that all black people are like this, like all black people are thugs, gorillas, gangsters, all black people smoke black and mouths, all black people drink 40-ounce liquor, all black people are those types of individuals. If we can look over that, you know what I'm saying, a good number of the natural innate intelligence and the expression of that intelligence and that artistry is, oh, here we go. God damn it, we got a goddamn war in here. God damn it. Right, can't say black. Okay, brother. Um for the sake of this live, you know what I'm saying? We gonna go with the the appearance, or not even the appearance, the apparent terminologies, you know what I'm saying, that most individuals or stateless people operate under, you feel me, in today's age and time, whatnot. So you feel me? The quote unquote black man and the quote unquote white man or white person, right? The quote unquote. So yeah. Uh But yeah, when it comes to, natural innate intelligence and the expression of that intelligence, without having to try to feel like they gotta overcompensate, which is crazy because in today's age and time, in the corporate spaces, you feel me, pretty much in any area, we feel like we gotta overcompensate, but because we feel so, because from a general level at least, you know what I'm saying? We feel like you know, you might be the only black guy in the room. Like, you know what I'm saying? If somebody's studying quantum physics, or if they're a geneticist, or you know what I'm saying, you into tech. You feel me? Even if you're into tech, I'm into tech myself, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of black people into tech. But at one point in time, you feel me, it might have been that one black guy who was the only guy in the room and who had to pretty much feel like he had to push the narrative, or, feel like he had to overcompensate, feel like he couldn't make a mistake, or feel like, you know what I'm saying, he had to be a little bit sharper than the rest, or try to at least, because if he wasn't, he'd often automatically be pushed away or excluded as that one black guy. But yeah, anyway, natural innate intelligence, especially from the musical side, especially from the right brain perspective, especially, you know what I'm saying, dancing, like, you feel me, a lot of the artists, the great artistic talent, you feel me, the athleticism or whatever, you feel me, the Michael Jacksons, the Michael Jordans, the Mike Tysons, you feel me? It's like black people, quote unquote, have been known to naturally dominate at these things, right? Without really trying too much. You know what I'm saying? With like trying, but not really trying. It's like it's encoded into the genetics of these individuals. You feel me? That they're naturally more physically adept to succeed, in athletics, or you feel me, they're more adept to be able to be on rhythm, be on par with the beat, or to vocalize certain sounds and make these sounds pleasing to the ear and whatnot, right? It's just natural, effortless expression. And that's one of the strong aspects of what K2 represents. You feel me? DNA, stuff that's embedded into their DNA, and that's highly that's pretty much has a green light. You feel me? It's on, it's active in the DNA, it's easily expressed. It's not a conscious process. It's not something that you have to, you feel me, remember in your active memory. If you want to kind of compare it to a computer process, I guess from a standpoint that y'all could understand, um, you have background processes that are always running and are always active. You might not know anything about these processes, you feel me, in relation to your computer, but they're always there. You know what I'm saying? It's hold on one second. All right, I'm back, but yeah. So what was I saying? Right, background processing. So it's always it's stuff that's automatically being expressed through the computer processes. Is memory on the computer that you pretty much have to keep it on the forefront of the operating system. You know what I'm saying? It has to be, you feel me, consciously present. And when you swipe to a different application or a different browser, or if you shut down or restart the computer, that process or that memory, that whatever that was observed for that particular time in the present is no longer there. And then you have like stuff that's just deeply embedded into the system that can be called upon anytime with ease and whatnot, right? So K2 is the memory that is in the background. It's always expressed. It's deep in the memory. You feel me? Whether you shut the computer down, restart the computer, uh, going all the way back to the clubhouse, Lord knows days. Lord knows is crazy. Lord knows is insane. Nah, but yeah, K2. It's like despite all the mastery, despite all the innate intelligence, despite all the natural gifts, the natural superiority, you feel me? Despite the been here, done that, despite having a superior genetic code, despite um pretty much being the ones who have the ancestry and rights to the land, or you feel me, the true ability to really carry out the affairs of this planet in the appropriate manner. Despite all of that, you know what I'm saying, we seem to find ourselves in a quote unquote inferior position as a collective. You know what I'm saying? K2 doesn't necessarily have what K2 lacks that Rahu has. K2 doesn't have the forceful desire. K2 is not trying to prove itself because K2 has already proved itself. You know what I'm saying? We've been here, we done this shit. I've seen large, it's crazy. I wonder what cuz at. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't seen a nigga in a minute. I ain't been on Clubhouse in a while either, but goddamn, nigga probably didn't open up 10 Vedic schools. Nigga probably done ran up 100 bands off the motherfucking Clubhouse motherfuckers by now. Shit, I ain't mad at him, man. I'm saying. But nah, yeah, black people. So yeah, it's like K2 is it's not trying to prove anything because we've already proved, you feel me? We've already experienced, we've already done. But I think the problem with K2 is that we've built up too much of an attachment to the affairs of this particular realm. You know what I'm saying? We built up a lot of trauma, a lot of unnecessary chaos, a lot of being blinded, a lot of getting our head cut off or our memory cut off. You know what I'm saying? A lot of, getting recycled and repackaged. You feel me? In this time period, that time period, a lot of scattering, a lot of conflation of the language. You know what I'm saying? The tongue and whatnot, and uh, a lot of deceptions. And it's really built up to the point to where also K2, it shows the sin too. It shows the sins. I wouldn't even say sin from a good and evil perspective, but more so just an error. It shows the error code, right? The errors that you need to go back to and revisit and correct. That's K2. Ernest Wilhelm, he said some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like he was the first one on this YouTube shit. I ain't gonna lie that I heard say something different about K2 than most people point out about K2. Everybody say, you feel me, you just gotta leave K2, fuck K2, give K2 up his past life. You don't gotta deal with it. Ernest Wilhelm probably is the only one that I've heard actually say, go back to K2, revisit K2. You feel me? Handle the affairs of K2 first, which is something I actually agree with. But yeah, K2, it's like you missed the spot. You've gained a lot of the truth, you've gained a lot of the awareness, but you just need to really detox. Whole topic is gang of facts. Look at the entertainment his industry. We got all the talent, but white folks own the industry. Right? Exactly. And they own it through illusion. They pretty much own it through illusion, deception. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? Obscurity, switching the narrative, changing the narrative, converting the narrative to something that it never was. You know what I'm saying? Loans, infiltration, Trojan horse. That's crazy because I was listening to something on the Sumerian tablets today, and you know what I'm saying. It was a certain tablet. They was pointing out the different. There's some tinfoil shit, right? By the way, you know what I'm saying, I'll be on my tinfoil shit a little bit. You know what I'm saying, but nah, they was saying it was 12 different races of different beings. I'm gonna just say different beings or whatever, who've had contact with this planet. And one of the races married into our, well, not married, but they pretty much inserted themselves into our genetic code. And you feel me? This race destroyed where they came from, or they fucked up where they came from, and pretty much this race can fuck up where we at right now. This same race, you know what I'm saying? Or whatever. But I said that because it kind of reminded me of, you know what I'm saying, white people. Like, the Martin Luther King play, you feel me? I feel like I brought my people into a, a burning house or whatever the fuck the nigga said or whatever. It's like the intermingling, well, quote unquote, white people or whatnot, right? And the state that we happen to find ourselves within now is really a great part of the problem and whatnot. And but that's the tactic of Rahu. Rahu inserts himself into the enemy. You know what I'm saying? He intermingles, he dines with, you feel me? He interbreeds with, you feel me? The enemy, and then he usurps the enemy. He underhands the enemy, dominates the enemy through manipulation, through illusion, through occult methods, you know, seemingly subservient, seemingly peaceable, seemingly friendly or whatever at first, and then takes a different turn. Rahu does whatever it has to do to win, and Rahu doesn't always have to be evil. It really doesn't. You feel me? It actually is a great force of nature. It is a much needed force. You feel me? Because you need to know how to rebel when the system that's structured, around you is to be rebelled against. Rahu, that rebellious energy is definitely an energy that is needed in order to break out of today's age of, you feel me, all the flock camera shit that's going on. You feel me? A certain size hat of niggas that's currently trying to, you feel me, inject their ways into the US government and military. We definitely need Rahu types of individuals to overcome or to not succumb to those influences or whatever, right? So you pretty much need somebody who's perceptible in the ways of Rahu in order to overcome, other Rahu individuals as well. Rahu can be quite righteous, you know what I'm saying? Can be quite righteous when it wants to be. Oh yeah, them niggas is superior Rahu niggas. I ain't gonna lie. I'm talking about with usury. You feel me? Like, just knowing how to create bullshit and getting people to believe bullshit. You know what I'm saying? It's an empty power, but it is the power if people can believe in it. It's crazy. It's really insane to me. But it's the truth, but it's you know what I'm saying? It's clearly displayed. Like, you feel me? We got people every single day waking up to obey non-existent systems. Non-existent, non-factual systems that are not at all based in reality. Systems that they even tell you feel me? They tell you taxes are voluntary, you feel me? Yeah, we still got people every day, every single motherfucking day, holding up these illusory imaginary structures. And that definitely is the Kingu spell, or the Rahu shit for real. And K2 helps overcome that as well. But what K2 needs is the memory. To get the memory, it requires silence. It requires isolation. It requires one to remove themselves from the inner belief that this world is comfortable, or something about the limited identity self cage is what am I trying to say, is the way. So different K2 complexes or different, you know what I'm saying, different K2 placements. I'm trying to look for celebrities or some shit right now. Michael Jordan, I don't know where his K2 is at. What do you got in a Capricorn? I forget what house. I don't know the house. Fuck it. Shit. Chris Brown. What is? I'm calling out niggas charts. I don't even know like that. Well, fuck it. Somebody will fuck it. I just do K2 in different houses. Somebody K2 third house, right? K2 in the third house can deal with agreed betrayal. You know what I'm saying? Your homies, your brothers, or whatever, clinging to, you feel me, the coolness or reputation, self effort or whatever. Michael Jordan got K2 in eighth. With Capra, with Saturn and Mercury. Are you sure? That nigga was a demon, dog. Nah, that nigga knew some shit if he had K2 in the eighth with Saturn and Mercury for sure though. That's crazy, but he probably did though. So hold on. I'll go back. I'll revisit that later. I ain't gonna think about that right now. But yeah, K2 in the third. So shit, you know what I'm saying? Let go of the propensity to believe, you know what I'm saying, your homies, your brothers, attachment to the siblings, attachment to you feel me, believing that actions, headless action and self effort is the way, you know what I'm saying? Or you feel me, things like that. So K2 in the third, it can deal with a lot of different fires or a lot of different slaps with the sandal on top of your head. K2 is when God slaps you with the sandal, right? And he just slaps you. You feel me? You don't really know what the fuck you're doing. You don't really know why the fuck you got slapped. You just get slapped. And you just keep getting slapped until you understand, okay, it's something that I gotta be doing wrong. Cause this shit keep turning out to me getting slapped on top of my head with the biggest sandal. That's K2, right? But K2 is only telling you, remove yourself from the belief that this particular thing by itself is the way. You know what I'm saying? Rahu in the ninth is saying that, hey, you know what I'm saying? There is a higher, more subtle perspective to understanding the universal life process. You feel me? You're making an effort, which is cool with K2 and the third. You've pretty much mastered, you know what I'm saying, having the self initiative, having the courage to step out, take the field, you know, to put whatever risk or to put whatever on the line and to get through it. But it's like if you're just making a headless risk, if you're not even calculating, if you're just jumping to some shit like Hitler had K2 in the third, you know, Hitler, from what I've heard, was a terrible war strategist. You know what I'm saying? Hitler made a lot of bullshit decisions. They got a lot of niggas killed for no fucking reason and whatnot, right? And that's the K2 and the third. It's like you can, you feel me? You can have the gun hole or the courage or, you know what I'm saying, the quick response. Because third house is like Chat GPT. You know what I'm saying? It's that quick output, that quick response. You feel me? That quick calculation, the generation, you know what I'm saying, the data output, all of that's like a third house type of thing or whatever. Third house is also it's a house of risk, it's a house of adventure, it's one of the gambling houses. You can gamble in the third house or whatever. It's a fighting house. It's a house of competition and all these different things, right? But with K2 there, it can often become headless. It can often become purposeless. K2 in the third. I know somebody with K2 in the third. You know what I'm saying? For some reason, this nigga is terrible at picking friends, yo. Like it be people that's literally, and this was a more. It be niggas that's literally would motherfucking, you feel me, get that nigga the shirt off they back. Like, you know, would literally do great works and good for this brother. But he, you know what I'm saying? He cut him off. I might have been one of them. Whatever. Who gives a fuck, right? And there'd be other people who literally have proven themselves. I'm talking about literally have been stealing. You feel me? Talking about fucking this nigga bitch and all type of shit. And it's like, for some reason, he's just more loyal to niggas who are more apt to do damage to his situation. I have no fucking idea why. But with that K2 in the third, the homie process, the friend, the brother, it's something weird about that. Like people gotta really attach for that and kind of understand that sometimes the ninth house, which is like a sage house, you feel me? Ninth house is a house where a person knows how to be alone. You feel me? Where a person kind of knows how to go into isolation or long pilgrimage. You feel me? To kind of separate self from the society, right? This is why I believe Pusha functions better in Rahu than Ketu. Pusha can be very externally oriented. Yeah, I heard Rahu was actually good in Cancer. Rahu was good in Cancer, and Ketu was good in Capricorn. I forget where I think that's in the Brihad Parashara or the Shastra, if I'm not mistaken. Or fuck, Parashara himself, Parashara Rishi might have said that shit. Something like that. I really don't know why they say that, other than Rahu was looking for love. So, you know, a lot of the trying to get over, cheat, or dominate, a lot of those harsher aspects of Rahu kind of become softened and kind of become tranquilized by the moon, you know, and a person is still able to obtain and enjoy. But, you know, as far as K2 being in Capricorn, why would K2 function better in Capricorn? That's something I have to really think on. But yeah, K2 Raw K2. Black people is K2. I was doing a different placements of K2 what people need to lessen up on. You know what I'm saying? To detach on, like, yeah, detox on, right? K2 in the motherfucking ninth. You know what I'm saying? Detox, leaning on something higher or outside of the self. You know what I'm saying? You gotta have self confidence. You have to take matters into your own hands. You have to understand that, you feel me, the self effort, the self attention, the self investigation. You know what I'm saying? This is the cultivator of the destiny as well. You know what I'm saying? It's not just in the hands of uh Lord Orochimaru or whoever niggas worship or whatever the fuck. But it's a dance though. It's a seesaw. It's a interaction. It's like you don't fully jump into the Rahu. You don't fully let go of the K2. You don't fully go back to the K2. You don't. It's a dance. It's like a kayak. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a rhythm. You paddle in one paddle, you paddle the other paddle. You know what I'm saying? And it's a rhythmic motion of paddling and churning that particular water in order to reach a certain destination. And everybody has their own formula. You know what I'm saying? Their own pathway, their own everybody has their own formula, their own pathway, their own, you know, security key to access the motion or to get the life lessons and to understand what needs to be done in order to remember and pull themselves away from the loop. Everybody has that. I would even say people with the exact same Rahu and Ketu, you know, still have different twist or still have different configuration to that particular key, because you know what I'm saying, you also got what's aspect in the Rahu, what's sitting with the K2. You know what I'm saying? What house is it? You know what I'm saying? So peace, Vincent. I'm just talking on astrology. You know what I'm saying? If you got any questions on astrology, that's cool. I'll try to answer them and whatnot. Cancer is security oriented. That's why Capricorn being ruled by Saturn makes one more verse with having less than. That's why Cancers can be more selfish than Capricorn. Mm. Yeah, Cancers got kind of like an entitlement streak about him. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like a baby. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like somebody who's always had their needs met, somebody who's always, I wouldn't say coddled, but I guess you can say that somebody who's pretty much always been in a secure and, you know, getting all the best meals and the best clothes and the best care and nurturing. I can build a personality that's quite entitled. You know what I'm saying? Cancer and Leo, they got that issue to where, you feel me, they well taken care of, well prepared, well nurtured, well educated or whatnot can be from royalty. You feel me? Can be of the royal court or can be of a higher status, the most or whatnot. And due to this positioning, this natural positioning, it can help them. It can lead them to developing an ego. You know what I'm saying? Nose in the air. But Capricorn could be cruel too. Capricorn could be quite cruel. Both of those, that axis itself can be. I've really seen a lot of, you know what I'm saying, individuals who can really have some cruel tendencies. Even in myself, I got axis in my chart and whatnot. But as with anything, it's about balancing. It's about, you feel me, realizing what aspects might need to be hardened and what might needs to be softened internally, and all that. But Ketu was black people, Rahu was white people. So what do I think? Like, what should happen between the quote unquote whites and the quote unquote blacks? I feel like we at a point in time to where all that race war shit is not really. It's not really. It's not really logical. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like you have so many black dudes or white women or white girls or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Black men and white women, or white women or white or black women or white men, you feel me? You have it's been such an intermixing, such a mixing of the culture is and you have so many different types of black people. You have so many different types of white people. You know what I'm saying? Like you got the redneck, then you got the nigga that's dyeing his hair blue, you feel me, with a nose ring and a furry costume, and you know what I'm saying, some shit on his phone that's not supposed to be on his phone. You got the white dude that I don't know, the nigga just he a fucking skater, or you know what I'm saying? You got the white dude who grew up with niggas, you know what I'm saying, and all he smoke is backwoods, and you feel me? Nigga got a crazy neck tat, but he'll shoot a nigga if a nigga get to talking stupid about his neck tat. So it's like you got so many different types of white people, quote unquote. You have so many different types of black people, quote unquote. Like I feel like if a race war were to actually or somewhat even seem like it's about to arrive, I feel like it'd be a great deal of confusion within the collective, and motherfuckers wouldn't even really able to wouldn't really be able to motherfucking side up for real. I feel like maybe the white people are more unified amongst themselves to a certain degree, but even with that, it'd be a lot of white people that's on their ass too, and that's going against them. So it's kind of, I don't think it's really a plausible idea. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, whatever. But I feel like as of now, and even taking it back to the Anunnaki story, Tiamat, uh, what it was, Apsu, and this is kind of like what's wrong with the masculine versus the feminine. And I know I'm kind of going all over the place, but bear with me, right? So Apsu, I think the nigga was Apsu. Apsu, you know what I'm saying? The masculine was like, you feel me? We got these young niggas running around loud as hell, causing a lot of disturbance in the frequency of the motherfucking verse and whatnot. And they're chaotic. They don't know how to behave. They don't know how to goddamn control their frequency. Therefore, we probably should kill these niggas. They're disorderly. Tiamat being the feminine, as any mother would, as the feminine naturally is leaning towards compassion, no, they the babies, you know what I'm saying? So what he women are usually more accepting. Women are usually more liberal to a certain degree. You know what I'm saying? Like if the son gay, the mama usually Some mamas at least, you know what I'm saying? And there it goes again, you know what I'm saying? It's always that it's always somebody who defies the general statement or the standard, right? Some mamas that'll knock a motherfucker out if he come on switching a little too hard or whatever, right? So I mean, there's that. But from a general perspective of women and men, women usually accept more disorder because that's just them, or that's, that's my baby, or leave him alone, or don't beat him. So what, he shot four niggas. So what, he shot four niggas in the jaw at lunchtime over a Beyblade, failed Beyblade tournament or whatever the fuck. You know what I'm saying? That's my baby. I'm gonna fight to death for my baby, whatever. And the dads be usually, or the masculine is usually more willing to step up and to correct disorder when disorder takes place. You know what I'm saying? Like, nigga, you told me to shut up. I'm finna beat your ass. But anyway, right? So Apsu was like, kill the kids. Tiamat was like, no, you know what I'm saying? Just let them be, just chill out, cool out. It ain't that serious or whatever, right? And niggas turned around and whacked Apsu, right? They knocked him off, right? So that's mistake one. You feel me? They probably had to be very fucking horrible for to be honest. This immigration situation here in America has completely dispelled the race illusion. It's just about confusing the code so the original heirs will have a hell of a hard enough time taking back their, mantles and positions or whatnot. They just like confusion. It's just they just like overloading niggas with data, with bullshit data and distractions or whatnot. And diluting that which is original. Like, they letting the motherfucking Indians, motherfucking, Arabs, Armenians, all different types of niggas. Shit, I was hearing you know what I'm saying, the Indian niggas, they got a lot of contracts with gas stations and motels and shit, but they be laundering a lot of dope. You know what I'm saying? Billions of dollars through goddamn hotels and motherfucking these gas stations. And I seen the shit for myself in Detroit. Like, them Arab niggas, prostitution and drugs, they got it. They got it on the lock. And it's super fucking strange. It's super fucking strange. You'll see all the motherfucking police cars, like, you know what I'm saying, the troopers and shit. They riding all up and down the motherfucking black neighborhoods, but they don't fuck with the Arabs. They don't, that, like Dearborn. Dearborn is pretty much a motherfucking, Dearborn is the biggest Arab city in America. And Dearborn is right outside of Detroit and whatnot. But they don't be riding up and down through their shit. But we know for a fact them niggas be heavily into prostitution, heavily into selling motherfucking prostitutes, heavily into trafficking drugs and shit. Like, that's factual. On an eye level too, it's like, but they do that just to keep niggas at the lowest position, and just to bombard niggas with a bunch of bullshit to keep niggas from assuming a position of strength. That's all. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, to be honest, at least for myself, the question at this point is what really is to do in order to bring balance to, the self and the best computers on the planet as a whole. One second, one second. But yeah. But yeah, with the women, the man and woman shit though, it's like I feel like we got to figure out how to find a balance between these two archetypes, just as an energy. Because I mean, in today's age and time, they're trying to do a reversal or a role flip. So a lot of the females is, masculine as hell, and a lot of the dudes are adopting more of a sack tucking approach. More of a sense of capitulation or buck diggering. That's crazy. Buck diggering is insane. But nah, yeah, so the roles are switched in today's age and time, but I feel like the masculine and feminine has to be balanced, from an energy perspective. It really does. You know. I feel like that's one of the greatest wars we've probably been going throughout motherfucking history. Like being too brutal, being too cruel, you feel me? Ready to kill, ready to chop a motherfucking head off, cut motherfucking hands off over the slightest mistake versus being too accepting at certain points of history, being too compassionate, being too open, being too ready to welcome a people into our situation that's perfectly fine, perfectly functioning, and perfectly, balanced, welcoming unruly motherfuckers into our cold and pretty much integrated motherfuckers into a burning house. It's like the Malcolm versus Martin approach. That's really like a masculine feminine dynamic right there. And Martin Luther King having to pretty much understand the hard way, like, damn, I thought all this compassion and you feel me, this integration and damn, I thought all this getting my ass whooped shit and trying to fucking follow Gandhi and prayers and shit. I thought all this shit was gonna lead me to the way. I thought I was gonna be the new Drew Ali, right? But it ain't the way. It's a balance. It's a time for war and it's a time for peace. And it's a really crazy position that we in today. It's an insane position. The Fruitarian priesthood are the gatekeepers of the inversion. And it's like, why? What is the point of trying to suppress niggas so bad? You feel me? But a part of the suppression is crazy because it's like the more that you suppress a thing, the deeper that you plant a motherfucker. You feel me? The more you try to keep a seed planted or whatever under that pressure, he knew what time it was the whole time. You talking about Martin? Was Martin the fruit? I don't know, man. I've been hearing some shit, but I ain't really want to goddamn come to that degree. I know Malcolm was out there. Yeah, Malcolm, you was on some shit I can't say on this live, brother. But now we ain't finna talk about the dead. We ain't gonna do that. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the goddamn. Shout out to him. It's just a part of the warfare that some individuals go through when they're in the body, right? But yeah, the masculine feminine dynamic, but not only that, the white and the black dynamic, the Rahu and the Ketu dynamic. How does Rahu get tamed? Are white people so called? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Malcolm was on that shit. Malcolm definitely was on that shit. But are white people so called willing or ready to accept a lot of the information that's going to be spilling out? It's already spilling out, you know what I'm saying? That they're already kind of being, a lot of them actually are privy to a lot of the real history of the motherfucking niggas. For real. They just don't say shit, but a lot of this shit that's really about to start getting collectively spilled out and put out into the public and whatnot, and getting confronted that, you feel me? Yeah, no, for sure. the shadow of Rahu ready to get dispelled, and when the black people, so called, or a certain set of the black people rather, get that memory, detox the Ketu, what would be the dynamic of the planet then? What would be the dynamic of the world affairs then? Yep. Order out of chaos. I probably, what's that axis in general? It might be more Ketu. It's the burning. It's the getting the ass whooped. The flames, the tragedy, the trauma. You know what I'm saying? The seeing these different images that's constantly depicting us in an inferior position, or you know, constantly hearing your ancestor went through this or they went through that, or you know what I'm saying, seeing other families, and you know how other families interact with each other, treat each other, get along. The dad is present. He went to the store and he came back with the cigarettes that he said he was going to get, right? Their dad did that. Why did my dad do it? Like, where did he go? The nigga said he was going to get milk 8 Julys ago. That's crazy. Like, why didn't he come back? You feel me? Like, all of the different things that we've encountered, endured, the fucking crack epidemic, you know what I'm saying, and all these different things or whatever, all the things that was purposely spread upon us to scatter the mind, to keep the mind in a state of inflammation. K2 is like inflammation, mindless inflammation, mindless burning. You know what I'm saying? Something is just hurting, and you don't necessarily know how to remedy or to remove the problem. You're stuck in a pattern. Head is cut off, chicken with the head cut off, or whatever. Like, once niggas get the memory back, once niggas get dispelled the illusion, the cloud of darkness goes away. It's game over. But to get there, you know, it's not going to be for the individuals who are on the Rashad Jamal shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we kings, like, you feel me? Just yelling, like yelling for 8 hours straight on the fucking internet and about who your ancestors was and how godly, and you know what I'm saying, white motherfucker, and you know, all this ego shit. It's not gonna do it. It's just not gonna do it. It just won't do it. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not about that. That's toddler emotional display. It's not really for toddlers. It's not really for anybody in that matter. But you feel me? All the all the damn, my fucking mind went blank that quick. Yo, is this why K2 nakshatras function more healthy and Rahu nakshatras and vice versa? It's kind of like a peanut butter, I don't know, like a peanut butter and jelly type thing. Like, if you bring the other side of the coin together, it's probably easier to figure out, to bring my halves to the table or whatever. But I like K2 nakshatras and Rahu nakshatras in their own place though. K2 functions K2 functions better when the qualities of that house already are catered towards stillness, or when the qualities of that particular area are catered towards, you feel me, um dropping identity, detoxing, filtering, straining, you know what I'm saying, exfiltrating bullshit information. K2 functions better when the house of the sign is more catered towards that direction. So what did they say K2 is exalted at? Scorpio, some say Sagittarius, some say Pisces, right? And why is this? You feel me? We already know the Sagittarius signs is ruled by Jupiter. Jupiter's is already more concerned with truth, right? From a Piscean perspective, this is the natural 12th house. Jupiter is already more concerned with letting go. You know what I'm saying? The depth, the meditation, the stillness. You said why? I forget what you was asking the question to. That why? What do you mean by the inversion as well? But yeah, K2 is exalted in the places that's more catered towards, exfiltrating bullshit informations, that removing that which is not truth or removing that which is not necessary. That's where K2 functions best, right? Jupiter houses is automatically going to be operating that direction off top in the Mars house, in the eighth house, and whatnot. Eighth house is the house that's trying to force you into surrender. You know what I'm saying? Eighth house is the house that's trying to force an individual to confront the shadow, the dark night of the soul. You feel me? The being in the midst of war and your life is on the line, you're insecure, it's you know what I'm saying, you in the jungle with a bunch of whatever the fucks, right? Eighth house is where you pretty much have to meet the boogeyman and release the need to feel like you have to survive, right? It's a lot of different ways that the eighth house can manifest, a lot of different ways that an individual can turn out. But I guess for lack of better expression, the quote unquote most spiritual way is the ego death. You know what I'm saying? It's the coming to terms with one's mortality and taking action and being at peace regardless of what turns out. Owning your shadow, owning all of the backup. Rahu and Ketu are disembodied, incomplete, hence why they are permanently retro. Right. Oh, so you talking about like them being placed in the opposite nakshatra that's like a completion. Or like, you know what I'm saying? Ketu and Swati, Rahu and the Sweeney. I get what you're saying. Trying to see if there's anybody I can find an example like Rahu and Magha, Ketu and Shot B Shot, or Rahu in Mula, Ketu and Ardra. I think Laura Rama might have had that. Matter of fact, it probably wasn't in Mula though. But okay, so Rahu and Mula is actually a good one. Rahu and Mula. The thing about that is though, Mula specifically, you don't really want Rahu there. Like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's gone. Rahu and Mula, yeah. Edge was a little demon, low key. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I don't know what he had going on behind the scenes, but I think he had Moon conjunct Rahu too, right? Like that is fuck. That's a good deal of mental chaos. Not only that, but like Rahu and Mula. Oh, it's in the third house too. Yeah, that nigga dirty. But Rahu and Mula, just for the sake of Rahu and Mula versus Ketu and Mula, right? Ketu and Mula is going to bring the Mula like karmas and the Mula like situations up, right? So it's going to bring the themes of dirtiness, the archetypes of poverty, if you will, suffering. You know what I'm saying? Maybe drug dealing. It depends upon what part of the world the individual lives in. But Mula, it really got like a gutter type of energy to it, but it's a wisdom in this gutter type of energy, if you will, right? I'm saying it's a wisdom and understanding with being amongst impoverished people, homeless people, drug addicts. You know what I'm saying? Those who might be nasty, definitely ghouls, goblins, demons, or whatnot. Rahu, I mean K2 rather, both of them to be honest, but K2 will cause natural experiences and natural burning like experiences. Like you feel me, karmas that kind of bring a disillusion to the way that an individual sees good versus evil. You know what I'm saying? Mula as a natural nakshatra, in my belief, you know what I'm saying? Me having Mula in my chart as well, it is really about demystifying the good evil narrative. The this is good, that is evil, those people are okay, these people are awesome. Um, this bitch teeth is perfectly white, so she the best, you know what I'm saying? She the best teacher bitch in the world, or whatever you want to call her, versus, you know, whatever, this nigga bald, so you know he ain't shit. Like all of these different distinctions based, especially based on physical appearance, you feel me, especially based on, you know, just regular religious outlooks and terminologies or whatever. A lot of these things start to dispel and mula. So like a story in the Quran, you know what I'm saying? Like it was a prostitute or something. She wept for a dog, or she helped a dog or some shit like that. I don't know verbatim, but moral of the story, she was a prostitute, you feel me? But she still attained heaven. She still was able to attain the realm of Allah, right? And it just goes to show it's not necessarily about all of the book knowledge, justifications of what is clean, what is dirty, what is good, what is bad. But it's a deeper truth and it's a deeper essence, you feel me? And it's a deeper video to the external distinctions and whatnot. So Mula, it really brings a person, the K to a Mula for sure. It really brings a person to be able to be around quote unquote dirty motherfuckers, or to be in I know somebody with Mars and K to a Mula too. You know what I'm saying? And you know he's from an impoverished village. He claims he goes through a lot of suffering, a lot of demonic attacks and shit like that or whatever. But you feel me? He says he feels a strong calling, or a strong desire to protect, help his community with his study and IT. You know what I'm saying? He's a programmer. I think he's a Python. I think he know Python. I think he knows C plus plus or some shit like that. But anyway, you know what I'm saying? He's an intelligent nigga, you feel me? He's an Indian nigga, you know what I'm saying? But he comes from a background of like great dirtiness, a lot of bullshit or whatever. That's Mula type archetype. You know what I'm saying? But when the K2 is there, basically it's like you see it for what it is. Rahu was like the person gets interested in the dirty. Like you're interested in maybe robbing or death archetypes or demons or witchcraft, or you know, putting your thumb in places that they shouldn't go on other people's bodies. A person is interested in, you know, intoxication. A person is interested in, you feel me, different drugs, criminality. You know what I'm saying? Deep sciences, occult sciences, which is ain't necessarily bad, but when Rahu comes into Mula, the interest can be too forceful and too strong, and a person can get themselves into something that they really don't want to get into. I don't know Ed's background. I don't know what Ed's got going on as a personality, but I pretty much can assume just by that Rahu and that moon alone that yeah, he's a nasty guy to some degree. Mula or Purva Bhadrapada. I would say it depends what's there. Uh, yeah, it depends what's there. Venus and Mula would be worse than Venus and Purva Bhadrapada, but you know what I'm saying? If you want to put, let's say, Mars, Mars would probably be worse than Purva Bhadrapada, just because of Mars' nature. You know what I'm saying? And they were coming in that watery sign. Plus, it's in that well, Purva Bhadrapada is in Aquarius too, but yeah, Mars I think would be worse than Purva Bhadrapada. I ain't gonna lie. The nodes. I think Rahu and Mula is worse than Rahu and Purva Bhadrapada for sure, because it's still in Aquarius. And that Jupiterian effect of Purva Bhadrapada, you know what I'm saying, it really calm the, I guess you could say, the more gun-ho type of reaches of Rahu. And it'll aim that energy in a more beneficial direction. Whereas Ketu and Mula or Ketu and Purva Bhadrapada, Ketu and Mula is better. But I mean, just as an nakshatra, Mula or Purva Bhadrapada, Purva Bhadrapada is darker when it's more so in Pisces, and when the planet that's there or the house lacks understanding, lacks the ability to assume the depth of the waters, or you know what I'm saying, the depth of that particular nakshatra and whatnot. Pisces in itself, you know what I'm saying? Pisces as a sign in itself it's not a bad sign at all, but Pisces can cause great levels of trauma if the person is unable to really accept or get the lessons of Pisces. You know what I'm saying? This is why Sun is like MKS in the 12th house itself. Because it's the 12th is about, which is the natural house of Pisces, it's about letting go of your identity. You know? You don't have to be the greatest shift leader of fucking McDonald's in the universe. You don't have to be that. You can be that. You can be the greatest, you know what I'm saying, the greatest bowler nigga on the motherfucking planet. You can be all of these different things. But once you try to box yourself into these identity structures, one, you've lied, and two, you're going to have to come out of it eventually. You know what I'm saying? That's an infant state of mind to feel like you can always keep yourself trapped in this one individual identity. And the universe it's going to hit you from every angle. You know what I'm saying? No diddy. You're going to get hit from multiple angles. You know what I'm saying? Ankle, by your head, all type of shit. And ain't really nothing you can do about it. But it's like, it's all to understand you're much greater than the box that, you know, the boxes we try to confine ourselves to. But this is why Sun it doesn't feel good in the 12th, you know, Because the thing that we have the most confidence about, or the thing that we feel like we've assumed the most respect, or you feel me, the most authority, it's like we gotta pack that thing up. We gotta let it go. But why was I saying that? So yeah, I was saying that because of Pisces, like, just gotta know how to let go of Pisces. And if you let go, you get blessed 10, 12 times more. Gotta understand how to deal with loss. That's why Donald Trump, he got Venus and Saturn, I believe, in the 12th house. Nigga went bankrupt multiple times. Fucked his money up multiple times. But it's like he always had the mindset to understand the lessons of his losses and how to navigate through them. However he did, 'cause I have no fucking idea. But 12th is a real abundant house when a person is understanding of the the loss aspect. Losses are lessons. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Yeah, like planets like Mars, Sun, the masculine planets, they like to fight. They like to keep their individuality intact. They don't like to be threatened. They don't like to be challenged. They don't like to feel like they gotta, lose or getting up, you know what I'm saying? So it's like trying to fight the ocean. You're not, you know what I'm saying? You can't fight the ocean. You just gonna hit a different wave. A different wave, and as the ocean is not for fighting. And that's interesting though, to be honest, because it's like the start of the zodiac, you know, is masculine. It's Aries. You feel me? Masculine sun gets exalted here. Masculine Mars rules this sign, and it's like the end of the zodiac is feminine. The feminine Venus gets exalted here, and Jupiter. The feminine water sign ruler. Is the ruler of this particular place. So it's like when it comes to showing up in reality, commanding reality, doing what we have to do here, setting up shop, putting the proper structures in order, raising, the family, you feel me, imparting the proper knowledge into our descendants, you feel me, into the ones that come after us, so that they'll be able to hold or erect the structures that they need to erect in this world, so that the genetic code processes and, you feel me, the beings on after can navigate through this world in an efficient manner, right? Doing all of the weightlifting, the push-ups, the lifting the backwood, right? Inhaling the backwood smoke, doing all of this shit to keep the world going forth in a beneficial manner. That's the masculine shit. But there comes a time to where we're going to have to give all of this shit up. You know what I'm saying? Everybody gonna die. You know what I'm saying? Everybody gonna go beyond, the whatever character role that we happen to be playing now. You know what I'm saying? The Velocity Mooney. Saying and the nigger on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Ain't gonna be a nigger on YouTube forever. You know? And going unto the unknown, it is pretty much like a feminine process. You don't know what the fuck gonna happen. But yep. 12th is a crazy. I mean, Pisces is a wild house in itself too. Because the masculine planets are more externally oriented. So we're focused on getting hard, right? We focus on standing up. You know what I'm saying? I need every blood vessel at its strongest integrity, right? We're focused on the external world as certain dominance and putting everything into its proper place in the external world. So it's like having that external, exoteric, cerebral perspective and being confronted with things like dreams or archetypes that are hard to understand is quite puzzling. It can be quite angering. You know what I'm saying? Even life, like everybody, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes shit happen. You feel me? Just different events or whatever the fuck happen, and we can feel like, you know what I'm saying? Oh, uh, fight harder, go harder, beat a nigga ass. You just got fired, just beat a nigga ass. You feel me? That's gonna fix everything. It's gonna solve every fucking thing, right? And it's like maybe it's something internally that needs to be released or corrected. And you know what I'm saying? I really need to take my own fucking advice, but you feel me? Maybe it's something internally that needs to be released, something that I need to submit to or let go. And it don't mean submit as in just laying down and getting your shit hit. Like it's more so just understanding that there is a need to renounce a certain line of thought, a certain way of thinking, a certain way of believing that the external actions are going to solve everything. Like, you know what I'm saying? A lot of the things that we just think, a lot of stuff that we believe, a lot of stuff that we carry throughout the day is churning and spinning the different activities that we witness take place. Yeah, yeah, it looks like Tom Hanks and Castaway can't fight the ocean. That was nigga stupid. Yeah. But nah, Pisces can get yeah, it can get dark. It can I ain't gonna lie. I just some of the shit. I ain't gonna count to you like I ain't gonna lie. This season motherfuckers with some dark Pisces placements. I ain't gonna lie. That Pisces Virgo axis is when it's churned properly, when it's done properly, it's a very clean axis. It's a genius axis. You know what I'm saying? Lahiri Mahasya. You know what I'm saying? He was a Vedic yogi and whatnot. You feel me? He had Sun Rahu, I think Mercury too in Virgo, Ketu. He might have had something else in Pisces or whatever. So he had that Virgo Pisces axis active. You know what I'm saying? Yogananda, he had the Virgo Pisces axis active. Uh, it's a lot of the even Benjamin Banneker. You know what I'm saying? He had Virgo Pisces active. You feel me? So it could bring Tesla. Tesla had the Virgo Pisces axis active. It's a lot of people who have genius level capability. There's a lot of people who have, you feel me, deep understanding of reality from both ends of the spectrum, from the engineering technical side, from the ability to manage business, and you know what I'm saying, the meditative, you know what I'm saying, universal side as well, or whatever the fuck people want to call it. Like that Virgo Pisces axis is a special axis if the work is properly done. But you know, it can cost like a lot of nasty shit. And I've definitely seen it. I ain't gonna lie to you. I think the lesson of Pisces is just to be at peace, even when you feel like there is no control. You know, the water houses is real psychological. It's like, you know, if you think it's a boogeyman under your bed, you know, that can keep you up all night. I can have you sweating. I can have you stressing. You know what I'm saying? Losing hair, all that. Just off of belief. Just off of what you think could happen. You know what I'm saying? You don't even know. You just think. Could kill somebody. Blood pressure, overdose, whatever the fuck. Have a nigga turn into drugs just because he believed a boogeyman, you know what I'm saying, is just waiting on his bed to beat his ass. But you know, if a person is just able to come to terms within their own psyche that peace is, you know, is I'm choosing peace or that silence or whatever. But yeah, shit, I done been on here for a little minute. Niggas gotta hit up the indoor plantation tomorrow, indoor cotton field. or outdoor cotton field rather, right? Indoor, outdoor cotton field. So, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if anybody got any questions or anything to add. I appreciate you, bro, for popping up, and you know whoever watching. All right, peace and blessings.